Huh? That's 80. That's 80. The miracle is frozen. The miracle in time. The miracle you're missing. The one you thought you saw. That's not the miracle at all. It's 80 on guitar, the guy who was here last week, who wouldn't play. That's him. You hear how good he is? He's such a great musician that he's humble. Huh. What a wonderful thing. That's him. On every instrument, except me on some shakers and shit.
I think the intro would be better as the chorus.
Oh yeah, maybe. You decide from your point of view, because to me I love it all. You can decide. Sleeping Beauty dreams. Pass through the mirror into stranger scenes. I remember. Burning with your reminder. The photograph you're holding. I don't remember the words.
I know that's
The snapshot by the sea.
I know that's when I sing also I don't remember nothing. So.
The image is unfolding. It's 80. Okay. Alright, that's enough of that. But the thing is, this is how I work with musicians, and this is how Adi and I can also work. Is I had words written already. He started to play this intro, and I was flipping through my book. We'd had a couple of tokes, and I was flipping through my book, and when he played that, and I found those words, I said, that's it. And I just started to sing. I had no idea what I was going to do. He said, I have an idea. And he played it, and I just started to sing from these words that I had already. Okay? And that's a result, one take. Which just goes to show. And I was reading about Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks, that great record, which is one of the best records ever made, for sure. We can say, there's many records of the first level. This is right at the top with many of our favorites, but it's right up there. And a lot of those tracks, it's called Blood on the Tracks, and a lot of those tracks he would do naked. And the musicians didn't even know. He'd say, just come in. And half the tracks on that were done that way. The first take. Because being the master...
You need to be in the mindset.
He knows being the master, don't do it over and over. This is the inspiration, intuition, like Einstein said. Intuition is more important than intelligence. Intuition. People. Intuition. That is the magic. Because we already know everything. You're recording?
Yeah, we've been recording for a while now. That's the thing. So let's do the intro.
I was not even sure. Anyway, here we are. We're live at the bunker, and with my pal Stefano. I say my pal. I hope we are. We know each other pretty well.
We are.
Reasonably well.
Yeah.
And with Mike, our medicinal producer. And when I say medicinal, I don't mean he's selling drugs. What I mean is he is going to be a doctor.
Hey guys.
Yeah, and that's Mike. No, he's studying medicine. He's going to be a doctor. So I'm very lucky to have a producer who's not only good at. All of us are lucky to have him. that he's not only good at the technical side, but he's also a very smart guy who's going to be a doctor. You know, you're going to be a surgeon, right?
Well, expedition medicine.
Okay, expedition medicine, which means going to difficult places.
And doing what you can in those places.
Like Médecins Sans Frontières.
Yes.
Yeah. With the French Medicine Without Borders.
Exactly.
Who've done so much great work. And you're going to be doing that. So we're very lucky to have you. You're interesting in yourself, much apart from me or anybody else we have on here. And so it's great to have you.
Well,
We're just guys talking, sometimes ladies, but not yet, about things that we think are relevant, you know, to us and we hope to other people. Some of it's funny, some of it's musical, some of it's other things.
We figure out as it goes along.
We figure it out as it goes along, and this is the beauty of the internet and what we can put out there. We're not going to talk about the Kennedy assassination and all the different. We might do an episode on that.
Conspiracy theories.
We might do it. We could do a lot of this, and we could do stuff like that, which is highly popular and popular for a reason, which we don't need to go into now. But just because human beings are naturally, I'll qualify this so that everybody understands. Human beings are naturally paranoid, and naturally paranoid for a reason, because it's our defense mechanism against for our survival.
You need to make sense of the
Yeah.
ghosts in the dark.
We try to make sense of what's going on around us, out of the randomness, the entropy, and the disintegration, to try and give us some purpose. So that's why we're paranoid, and that's what conspiracy theories mostly come out of. But unfortunately, in an entropic world, we have to realize that when we look at conspiracies, most people don't get along well enough. They don't get along well enough to... that was Stefan having a coughing fit. You want some water? Stefan, here, have some water. Here you go. Drink this
Thank
water.
you, Matt.
There you go. And get your thing going. Anyway, Stefano, not Stefan, but Stefano, because Stefan would mean he was German or Polish or somewhere.
Mostly Polish, I think. The
Yeah,
first-
mostly
only-
Polish in your case.
Because
You know.
first country which called me Stefan was in Poland.
Was it? Why? Yeah, because that's the name here. But Stefan just means Stephen, so it's obvious. Yeah.
Some people even call me Steven.
But Stefano sounds Italian or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually my name comes from Italian.
Yeah.
It's written from
It's
Italian.
Stefano. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my aunt was traveling a lot before for work, and she was in Italy when I was born. What I heard about, and at first she gave me the name of Stefani,
Which is a
So-
girl's
which
name.
is a girl.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know that I'm a boy.
Different, yeah,
So then afterward they said let's change the I to the O, so it became Stefano.
Yeah, Stefano. Yeah. Come
Your
here.
mom liked the name, and she. It's,
Yeah. But it's funny, Stefano. None of the guys in The Godfather were ever called Stefano. You know, there was never in any of those movies. They're always like, "Hey, Tony." You know.
It's always Tony.
Yeah, there's never a guy's like, "Hey, Vito," "Hey, Tony." You know, there's
Yeah.
never a guy's like, "Hey, Stefano." It's like that's too many syllables. It's got to be two. Hey, Bobby, come here. Hey, Bobby will help us. You know, we're gonna knock over.
Federico.
No, we're gonna knock over the trucks around the when they come to the thing. You know what I mean? When they'll do the thing. Bobby, come here. Tony, Bobby and Tony. Hey, meet each other. You know, but no Stefano. It was never like.
Not even Alexandro.
Alexander is far too. It's too many syllables.
I think it's 3.
You
Max is 3.
Even three.
Even
You're
3 with
stretching.
Stefano, which is as well.
Pizza has 2 syllables. Okay. Pizza has 2 syllables, and that's as far as they go. Go to all those movies. Anybody with a longer name, it doesn't exist. You know?
But the funny thing is, a pizza place is a pizzeria.
Oh, unless it's Roberto.
Roberto.
Hey, Roberto.
Bobby.
For
Bobby.
some reason, they get a, but then they shorten it to Bobby. But Roberto, you hear. But yeah, I don't know what that is with the Italians with the 2-syllable names. I think there's a whole etymology, a whole study to be done about that. We're not going to do it today.
Yeah,
We
it
have to
takes
call.
long.
Let's call Noam Chomsky, and perhaps he can help us out on why Italians like these. Yeah, I think it's because it's a short name and nobody knows who, and everybody's called Tony, so nobody knows who you're talking about. Hey, Tony! There's like, they get a room of the people together down at the police station, and they go, okay, who's Tony? And everybody goes, hey, it's me! There's like 50 guys.
Everyone raised their hand
Yeah.
when he mentioned that.
It's impossible. Everybody raises their hand. I was like, hey, okay, this is going to be difficult. There's a lot of Tonys. You know? Somebody should be called, I don't know, Richard or something. Yeah?
Or Sergio.
Yeah. What?
Sergio.
Yeah, Sergio. No, they don't have that either. There's no Italian mob movies. Is
You
there
know what?
ever a Sergio? But Sergio Leone was director.
Salvatore gets in there though.
Hey, Salvatore.
Yeah.
They call him
Hey
Sal.
Sal. Hey,
They call him
hey,
Sal.
Easy Sal.
He's Sal or Sally or even Solly. Solly. That's the one. Hey, Solly, come here. Solly wants you to meet Tony. Wants you to meet Bobby. We're going to talk about this, we got this thing going down. I want to discuss it, yeah.
Why do gangsters have to simplify everything? Because it's like, it's if you look at like Russian mob, it's Viktor.
No, and the Russian mobs totally different. I mean, who understands the Russians? The Russians don't even, they don't understand themselves. Why should anyone else understand? I mean, the Russians are like, they spend their whole life trying to be Europeans, and all they care about is the East, where most of their country. Past the Urals, they have a whole continent. They have a country almost as big as Australia, east of the Ural Mountains. Sorry, west of the Ural Mountains. And they have a country,
By landmass, the biggest
United
country
States and a half on the other side. So they don't understand themselves. The Russians don't know who they are. Yeah. But this is not the subject for our conversation.
No.
Tonight, we're going to talk about, or today or tonight, it doesn't matter. Whenever you're listening to this, it can be whatever time you like, through the beauty of time zones and internet. We live in a unified world, not, but we hope as soon as possible it will be.
That's the dream.
Oh man, now I'm going to have the globalist people. Yeah. You're a globalist. I'm not a globalist. I'm a realist.
Humanist.
I'm a realist. I'm a humanist. I'm a realist, not a globalist. I don't care about that. We care about people just like you do. We care about people get along with each other, and I've traveled the world. I've been on every continent except Australia, and people are pretty much the same.
That's
Everywhere you go.
That's a
They have the
separate
same
continent.
aspirations. Well, take care of their families, take care of their kids, have a decent job, and that doesn't change anywhere you go.
That's
Whether
human
it's
nature.
Newark, New Jersey, yeah, or in Africa, or even Mauritius. And now, which I finally got around to talking about Mauritius, because Stefano is going, he's checking his watch. He's going, my God, I had something else more interesting to do than this.
Finally, I can school these people.
Yeah, because a lot of people may not know. And I'm not even sure I know the exact location of Mauritius, and I know you. Where is Mauritius and why?
Mauritius is a very tiny island. When sometimes you look at the map of the world, shit, you don't see it. Thanks now with Google Map, you can
Expand, enhance.
and just a very tiny point in the Indian Ocean. First thing you have to know where the Indian Ocean.
Indian Ocean would be
Indian Ocean is
west
South
of Africa, and between Africa and India and Australia, right?
East of
We know where the
East-
Indian Ocean is
East
because of
Coast.
the.
Africa.
East
We know
Coast.
everyone knows
We
where
are
it is
200
because of the
kilometers-
plane crashes.
We are 2,000 kilometers
crash.
from east coast of Africa.
How far?
2,000 kilometers.
2,000, not 200.
2,000, yeah.
Listen, let's be
200
honest
is-
about this. You're sitting on a tiny spit of land
Yeah.
in the middle of the Indian Ocean,
Middle of nowhere, yeah.
middle of nowhere, 1,500 miles from Somalia or wherever it is.
South Africa, maybe.
South Africa, maybe. Yeah, because it's further down.
Yeah.
Okay, so way out there.
Mm-hmm.
And good Lord. What about,
It's beautiful to live there, man. It's no
Of course
concrete.
it is, but
like we say here, when I'm here in Warsaw, I said it's concrete.
It's the concrete city.
Concrete. I don't live in concrete. Man, I'm used to wake up in the morning, take my tea. Behind my house there's a mountain. In front of my house there's a beach. sea and a big island in front of me. My work is 10 minutes by bike, 5 minutes by car, 15 minutes by feet, and walking down the forest along the coastal place. Travel. Sometimes there's water. We have to. Even if you work in an office, you can just go to work by feet if you want to.
The question is why are you here? You describing.
Why do you live in paradise, man?
Actually, now we are in 2015 and it's quite long, so it's around nearly 9 years or 10 years. I know my wife. She came on holiday and we met on the beach and we have a chat and we continue the relation.
No, so you met your wife in Mauritius,
Yeah.
and that brought you back to Europe.
Yeah, that brought me back
Yeah.
here in Poland. I
Well-
don't say back in Europe, but I've been in Poland. It's my second time.
Well, Poland is
Last time
Europe,
for-
I
for-
think. Last time
For
I checked.
holidays and second time for living.
Mhm.
So it was okay, and it gave me also the way I went to England. Well, I lived there for 3 months, so it's always experience of life everywhere. Because when you live on an island, sometimes you dream of going to Europe when you look at the TV. You always dream to okay. Some said maybe they want to become a Cristiano Ronaldo. They want to play football. Everyone has a dream.
The grass is always greener.
Yeah, so we can't say that Mauritius that we don't have a good life. We have a good life too, but sometimes you need some new experience, some new things in your life. So I know my wife. After 4 years, we decided to be together. So I just came here now. It's nearly 4 years. I'm in Warsaw.
That was Mike who said the grass is always greener. That's a cliche. We're not going to go further with.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We interrupted Stefano with your cliche. That was a beautiful.
I know it's
Oh,
a
the
beautiful
grass
picture.
is always greener. Yeah, that was a surprise for us. Yeah.
The grass is greener.
Oh, he's a good man, Mike.
Can you cannot come up with any better metaphor than that? I'm sorry, on the
It's
spot.
it's a cliche.
I knew that one.
Yeah. Well, of course you know. It was
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry that
you're
you
from
brought it up.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
you
only
know-
green.
There's only
Yeah.
in
Okay,
Ireland.
that was interesting what you just said
Yeah.
because you're from an island, Stefano,
Yeah.
and Mike is from an island
Yeah.
called Ireland.
Ireland.
And England.
And I'm from a continent, so I don't know shit about islands except I lived in England for a while. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if that taught me because it feels like a continent, England, because if only because of their egos, you know.
But in Mauritius, I can tell you that because we had been English colonial too, before that independence, we were English colonial. So we don't know too much about Ireland. We know more about England.
Yeah, well, Ireland.
It's a shame.
But
Well, I'm not
no,
surprised
to
because-
tell you the truth, because we were English colonial. So because
Ireland was
Even-
fighting the British Empire, as you know, the whole time. So.
yeah, but
For 400 years or more. The English, anyway.
in Mauritius, we know more
Older.
because we are English. All the law, all the things in English, and first language is English.
What's your
Yeah,
second language? Because
First language is English, but second language also is we speak French because at school we learn French and English. All subject in Mauritius.
but why did you learn French? There's a reason.
Because of French. At school we had
The French were there
Yes.
before
the
the English.
first was
Right?
okay. Let's go a little bit in story.
Here we go. Tell
Let's
us
go
the
in story because I know that you love the story.
I
Two,
do.
2 or 3 hours before you were telling me that.
Yeah.
You go in story and I went home. I said I need to talk about story with you.
Please do.
So
Tell us
we're
some
gonna
history.
start. We're gonna start because Mauritius was first discovered by the Arabic and the Portuguese. They were traveling very very long time. We call it, I think, the medieval times. And
Medieval, yeah.
yeah, at that time it was Arabic and Portuguese, and they even, give Mauritius a name. One, I think the Arabic call Mauritius Dina Arabi, yeah, and then the Portuguese call Mauritius the Serna or something like that. So Cerne, and then after them, the first person who colonized Mauritius, we can say, is the Dutch. Dutch came, I think it was around maybe.
They call it Suriname? The Portuguese?
Cirne. Cirne. Cirne.
Surname.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But the first
The
colonial,
Dutch were there.
yeah, the first colonial person was the Dutch, and the Dutch was, I think, in around 1638. They came to Mauritius, and with them they brought also lots of good things. So they bring deers, they bring sugarcane, which has been our best economy for the future to arrive where we are now, thanks to sugarcane, and lots of other product. But we live in a cyclonic country, and we got lots of cyclone
Tempest.
tempers. We
Yeah.
call it cyclone in Mauritius, but we call it typhoon or
Typhoon.
typhoon
Yeah.
or
In the Indian
hurricane
Ocean. Typhoon. A hurricane.
or all these things.
You have a lot of
In
storms.
Mauritius, we call it cyclone
Yeah.
because on the radio you always hear a warning cyclone +1 in Mauritius. Then you have to start to get prepared for that. So at that time there was no radios. The Dutch also most important thing is we a little bit hate the Dutch, a little bit. It's not their fault. I could understand them at that time. There was not too much food on the island, and they killed our national bird called the dodo. Maybe you heard about it.
The dodo bird
Yeah.
comes from Mauritius,
Yeah.
also known in Australia,
Yeah.
but native of Mauritius.
Mauritius,
Didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah, the dodo. The
Yeah.
Dutch kills the dodo. If we want, we can talk a little bit about the dodo because the dodo is important. When you talk about Mauritius, you have to know about the dodo also because it's something that. Okay, we have the museum, we have the dodo, we have this, we have a movie in France with the dodo. It was quite nice, and it was a good thing for education also for children. But the dodo, the problem with the dodo, he was so big and fat, but it was a bird
That couldn't fly.
that couldn't fly because his tail was so small and he was fat. And history what I know about from school is that the dodo was laying eggs down because he could not do it like a normal bird on a tree on the top, and other animals were also eating the eggs. Plus, then it was a good chicken. I think I heard about, so the Dutch killed them. But then the Dutch abandoned Mauritius because of, like I told you, cyclone. And at that time, when the Dutch was occupying Mauritius, it was called Maurice van Nassau, the Prince Maurice van Nassau, because at that time it was, I think.
We're talking about 1700s or 1600s?
Yeah, 17.
1700s.
So they were first in 1638 and they left in 1710.
Mm-hmm.
They left Mauritius because of all this problem, mainly about hurricane. Because I had been through that. I know.
What's it like to go through a hurricane there? Because it's quite low.
It's depend.
Do you have some hills, mountains?
Yes, we have mountains, but our highest mountain is around 800 and something.
800 feet, so it's a hill.
But something
Yeah.
like that. But the problem with the cyclone is.
What's above water is a hill. Maybe below water it's much
Yeah,
bigger.
but the sea will come up. We are used for that, for big sea. But the problem, that we had a coral reef all around Mauritius.
You
know,
had or have?
We have. We still got
You
it.
still have,
It's still
of course,
here,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
A coral reef, you can't destroy that. Even a tsunami come tomorrow. I'm not scared that a tsunami will do something like I had seen on TV.
Well, they've
Because
been there
first thing-
forever. Yeah.
Because first thing, in some places, of course, yes, because it's too close to the sea. In some places, we are well protected because we have a big lagoon. So that's the thing also. Mauritius is not only for that. We have a beautiful lagoon and it's well protected. In my village, I think we're gonna be fine, but the hotel gonna be not here afterwards because they are next to the sea. So they are nearer to the coral reef. I love the sea. I'm a seaman. I'm a dive master.
Are you a fisherman?
I had been fisherman because I'd been born in a family of fishermen. So my grandfather was a fisherman, a fisheries chief, like we can say, captain, and going to catch fishes, coming back.
What
with
kind of fish?
all.
Oh.
Everything is there. It's Indian Ocean. They have
Indian
everything.
Ocean.
But you have a lot of sharks, I think, there.
When you talk about shark, I think about Luke.
You have a lot of
He has a
sharks
fucking-
in this part of the
He's
ocean.
very scared of shark, and I told him I go to see shark. I go to dive with shark.
Yeah.
When you heard about shark attack, it's always in Reunion Island, and then you will think, oh shit, Reunion Island is 40 minutes by plane from Mauritius, so they are not far away.
Yeah.
And surely the shark should be attacking also in Mauritius, but I never hear about someone being attacked by shark in Mauritius.
Never?
Never, except the fishermen
Hmm.
who go with
Because
harpoon.
there's blood and
harpoon.
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But I
it's-
tell you, I've been to Goa a few times, and I was very curious, but about shark attacks, because it's a beautiful sea, and you always say, yeah, they don't have to be far away from me to be there. But I heard there are no shark attacks in Goa. I read about it on the internet. I asked people, there are no shark attacks.
No.
Apparently, the sea is a little too warm there, which I'm not sure is. I don't think that's the same
In
problem.
summer in Mauritius is 30 degrees.
Yeah.
30
Okay,
degrees.
it's also warm.
30 degrees.
They don't
at
come
30
in so
meters
close.
Sometimes 30
What?
degrees at 30 meters.
Yeah. So they don't. The sharks don't like that hot water. Apparently.
Apparently, they come more in summer because in summer
It's
They
cold.
come from October, like in Mauritius. They come in September, October. Mainly these 2 months they come to have their babies.
Yeah, and when the weather is not so hot and the water's not so hot, probably.
Tell you the truth, I've been diving with.
Because you're on the other side of the world, so
depend
your
what
winter
kind,
is the
it's
summer.
depend what kind of sharks. When we talk about sharks, also it's depend what kind of shark.
Well-
the shark I go to dive with is reef shark, white tip.
Well,
black
reef
tip.
sharks won't bother you
White-
too much.
And the most dangerous that we can see is first is we like to play with him too, to call him then make him come next to us. He's a bull shark. One of
Yeah,
the
but I was
most-
going to say bull sharks will
one of
bite
the
you.
most
Then.
dangerous.
Bull sharks will bite you.
But I'm diving. Sometimes I see 5, 6, 7 bull sharks, so it's not a problem for me.
If they're hungry,
They're always hungry because it's for that they came to this place. Because our lagoon is different. In Reunion Island, there's lots of surfers who are getting who died. because
They're getting
of sharks.
attacked, yeah.
Attack. In Mauritius, we have kite surfers, windsurfers. Where I was living, but I can't say I was because I will go back.
where I'm from, let's say that.
And
Where the heart is.
we have kite surfers, windsurfers, surfers, fishermen, everything. And we saw bull shark, we saw everything. We catch, sometimes fishermen catch bull shark. And the most scary shark I had ever seen was hammer shark. But we always said when they are in group, they are not dangerous because they're in group. But when they are
Hammerhead.
alone, hammerhead, when they are alone, then they are more dangerous. And I had this experience one day with 2 Polish guys on the rough sea, and the girl had a problem with the ears, and we'd been drift from our spot because the current was so strong on the top of the surface and down also, and
The
then
current was very strong.
Yeah,
yeah.
very strong, and we had to go back to the point. I know why I was because I'm a diver and I live here, I dive there, and we go there almost all the time. So we arrived there on the spot, and I'm a diver and my eyes is not only looking in front, but my eyes is looking everywhere. And man, I see a great hammer shark on the top, and it was so big.
So you're talking about 12, 13 feet, probably.
And on that day, I said to myself, I never saw that kind of shark, and biggest shark ever was him. And then at first I did not know which shark it was because I could not see well because of the rough sea. And then, but then he turned. He was on the surface. Okay, he was not down at 30.
He was on the
meters.
surface.
On
Yeah.
the surface,
Yeah.
and then he just turned, and then actually I could see the face. It was
Obvious. Yeah.
hammer shark.
Hammerhead shark is unmistakable. Yeah. But you escaped. Yeah.
No, we went to dive, but,
But
it was
hammerhead sharks, they won't attack you. I mean, it's like isn't it extremely rare for a shark to attack a person? It is. I mean, by statistics.
Okay, first thing, we talk about surfers because the most person being attacked by shark is surfers.
Because it looks like a white body of a big fish.
No,
Why?
it's look like a turtle.
Oh, a turtle. Looks like a turtle. And
Yes.
turtles are easy. Prey. The
But
white.
you know that shark eat turtle.
Yeah, the white part of the
Yeah.
surfboard
Plus,
looks, and the hands,
and
it looks like a turtle.
yes or no?
That would make sense, yeah.
That's the point. It's because they look like a turtle. A swimmer also look like a turtle. But shark don't eat human being.
No, not really. And so it's very rare. And a lot of surfers get attacked, probably maybe for that reason, or just because they see the object, it reminds them of another, maybe a turtle or some other
No,
kind of prey.
Anything,
You think it's a turtle, yeah?
turtle.
With the flippers hanging off, yeah?
100%. 100%.
There's this other thing that they say about sharks, that they notice splashing on the surface. But is that true? Because turtles don't splash, do they?
I don't know how they. I had never saw a shark eating a turtle.
Have you ever seen a turtle in the ocean? Yes,
A lot.
of course.
1,000.
And so have I. And
Yeah.
because we have a lot
And
of
they are
turtles.
always at the place where we have the shark too. So
Yeah. But turtles don't splash a lot. And people say that the sharks are attracted by the I don't know if it's true, but I've certainly seen this. We can see it in documentaries, by splashing on the surface.
maybe because.
But turtles don't splash.
But turtle always go outside.
They go up to the top.
A breath and then go down.
Ah.
They always come down.
And they would splash
Yes,
because they're
yes,
going back
yes,
down.
Yes.
And that would
But
make
then
sense.
They swim down.
I think you may have solved. Stefano, you may have solved the shark question for the ages.
No, but shark. I go to dive with shark.
I mean,
like
sharks
turtle.
versus people.
And
They think
even,
we're turtles.
Even in the reef, with a white tip, black tip shark,
You
you
know,
never know what can happen.
sharks
because you're in
don't
the jungle.
understand. We're not turtles. We're chimpanzees. Pretty much. That's what the sharks don't know. But they think we're turtles.
Don't forget, Will. Sharks don't eat human being.
They don't?
No, they don't eat human being.
Why? They don't like our taste?
Would
I don't
you
know.
eat you?
Well, no, but people have through the ages been cannibals, but they don't like. Apparently, human beings. Here we go. Here we go. We're going somewhere. Apparently, human beings taste like pigs.
I don't know.
That's what they say. People who've eaten human beings. I didn't, but
No, I just want to remind you that thing. Don't forget about that. The shark. They don't eat human beings.
They
will
don't
bite
eat-
you. They will remove your hand.
But when you
But
said,
the problem is the blood.
they
it
like
drives me crazy.
You know, that's the only problem is blood.
blood.
Attack come like that. Blood, man. They can't see that.
So don't
They are the vampire under the sea.
don't skin your knee and have a bleeding skint knee falling on the sand and then get on your surfboard because it will attract sharks.
I brought a woman to die when she was having her bloody day.
Her period?
Yeah.
You brought a woman when she was having her period? What's wrong with you?
I did not know that. She did not say
She
anything.
didn't tell you? They should have to wear
don't
signs.
say anything,
I'm on
so-
my period when they're going to the sea.
And then
And
she
what
was
happened?
scared. You know, in underwater you can see anything, everything. So, many when you have 15, 20 meters of light under the water, you know.
Clear blue sea.
Blue sea, you know. Well, Warsaw is nice, but Warsaw is concrete.
Now, are you saying to me that a woman attracted sharks with her period?
No,
You were just worried about it.
nothing happened.
That she might, yeah. Thanks.
But
Because
I
I
just
wasn't
told
believing
you
that.
we
I
can
wasn't
see,
believing that.
We could see everything underwater. Don't forget that. Even when you are pissing
Okay.
in your wetsuit, we see it
Oh, okay.
because of the temperature of water.
Okay.
A piss is,
So you could tell that she was on her period underwater.
yeah.
Good Lord. Ladies, be careful
Careful.
when you're going scuba diving. Be careful. Also, that you might attract sharks because sharks are male chauvinists. Let's be honest.
No problem. There was no attack.
No, there was no attack. Okay. Well, that's a good thing. Because I was a little worried about the ladies because they'd have to stay out of the water a certain time of the year,
Anyway,
month, actually.
Anyway, where we were about history.
Let's go back to history because
finished with-
we've already
I think
alienated
we
all the
finished with
females in the
French.
audience.
No, the Dutch.
The Dutch. We finished with Dutch.
Yeah.
We didn't hit the French yet.
Oh, we did not yet hit the French.
It was
So the Dutch
1810.
left around 1710.
Oh, 17.
1710.
Mike, when you're jumping in, I'll just say, if it's not my voice and it's an Irish voice, or it's not Stefano, I think you recognize his voice. It's Mike.
I'm sorry, it's the fault of you.
Mike just jumps in, and he's allowed to jump in, but just so you know, in case you're confused about the accent, I'm the guy who talks really slow and sounds kind of stupid, and Mike's the guy who sounds bright and has a slight Irish accent.
I would argue it's the voice of wisdom from Well and Brashful.
And your name is nice because it's Mike.
I'm not paying him enough, but that was
Mike,
good.
Mike.
I should pay him more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stefano, the more about the history. So it was a early Dutch colony, Mauritius.
Yeah.
It's 1,500 miles. Kilometers or more. 2,000 kilometers.
He's
1,400 miles from the coast of Africa. You're way out in the middle out there. The Dutch came sailing by and said, this looks good. We need to go and rest for a while because these wooden boats suck. And we need some fruit or we're going to die of scurvy, right?
Yeah, right.
We need some vitamin C. So they go over there. Do you have like oranges or grapefruits or anything? Breadfruit? Breadfruit?
We have so much vegetable that you don't even
But
know. So much
okay,
fruits.
do you have
Mango
tomatoes?
trees, tomatoes. What do you want?
Okay, so
Tell
tomato.
me what you want.
If I'm a sailor in the Dutch times,
I forgot to
back
tell you.
then, I need some vitamin C, so I need a tomato or something.
I forgot
if
to
I
tell
can't
you
get
the most
citrus.
important thing. Yeah.
Do you have citrus on the islands?
Of course, we have lemon, citrus. What do you want?
There you go. So there.
trees. We have mango
Yeah.
trees, ananas.
Right.
We have bananas.
Okay.
We have sugarcane.
So here are
we
these
we
guys,
have- we
these
have lots
fucking
of
sailors. They're on the thing.
We have wood.
They go, oh, there's an island. We can get some
Yeah.
citrus, and we won't have to die of scurvy.
Yeah.
So they come and see you, right?
Yeah, and then they made the dodo also, so they will have good chicken.
You had chickens back then.
Dodo.
Oh, you had the dodo, but did they eat the dodo?
Eat the dodo. I told you that the
But you also have other birds.
Yes, they have lots of food in Mauritius. We have lots of.
But they killed the dodos eating them, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't they breed them? What the fuck is wrong? We had
We
chickens in Europe.
We don't know. And
Why didn't they
and-
just breed the
And the
dodos?
sea is very rich. Was very rich at that time.
So they
was
had
very
plenty of
rich.
fish.
Yeah.
So they got all their vitamins from the fish,
Everything.
and then they had the citrus. So it was a great stopping off point
Actually,
when
it's
you're going to
also-
India
I
or
think-
China.
I think it was also because of rats. Because when they came, also they brought rats.
Well,
So
they were
there was
eating
something-
rats.
Something about cholera, you know, and they had to leave Mauritius because of that.
Who had rats? You had or they had?
They brought rats.
They brought the rats to your beautiful island.
Yeah.
They're damn bullshit rats.
Well, I mean,
or
cholera,
it was there.
it was
so-
them. It's probably them.
Oh, I don't know about that because maybe
Now
it
you
was
didn't
there.
have rats because even rats can't swim that far.
But rats came from all the boats.
No, they can swim all through the sewer systems, and a rat may come in here because they love to swim in the thing and come up through the toilet. But you didn't have rats. They didn't swim from Africa. They brought the rats,
I
right?
don't know. So that's the way they
course
left
they did.
Mauritius, and then I think from 1715 the French started to come to colonize Mauritius.
People are going, rats can swim in my toilet? Yes, they can, people.
Yeah.
No,
If
no,
you
no.
live in New York, you know about, or any big city.
Cholera comes from humans,
Yeah.
so it was they brought it with them. It's from.
Oh, we have
No, because
Dr.
mostly
Mike has
rats.
pulled
Rats.
rank
It's
here.
fecal oral, so
What's-
it's
what's-
like
Sorry, what is that?
fecal oral.
What?
So it spreads from like contaminated food.
It spreads from shit.
Yes, it does. It's one of the major vectors of most diseases.
Cholera spreads from shit.
Yes. In fact, Haiti with the hurricane, we were talking about hurricanes and everything else, and I'm sure guys are aware, if not, there was a huge cholera outbreak, and that's what killed most of the people after the hurricane, and it's still to this day going on. That came from the UN peacekeepers who came, or the
Why, they brought rats with them?
No, they brought cholera with them.
The UN peacekeepers brought cholera from where?
From all of their countries, because they come from India, they come from all of these places which are endemic with cholera, and some
Those
of it,
darn Indians? I've always blamed them for cholera.
Don't say it's Indians. But
those doggone Indians, I always knew they were responsible for cholera. Gandhi and cholera. That's what I think about when I think of Indians.
I mean, I think there was an investigative.
I go to India a lot, by the way, and I don't have cholera, so it's a joke. Yeah, obviously.
There was an investigative article about this from Vice, and they basically found out that there was
from
some
Vice.
Vice News, Vice Media, and what happened was there was some contamination from the sanitation system from the UN headquarters in Haiti, and they were trying to figure out what was exactly causing all of these people in the refugee camps to be so sick, and it was ended up from contaminated water. That it got into the water supply, and that's how it spreads. And it's something that happens in a lot of the regions where we don't have enough attention to. And back in those days, no one had any idea what would cause something like that, you know. But most of the diseases in the world come from us, really. It's like one of the major human things to do when there's a disaster or some kind of plague is to run for your life, and that's probably the worst thing that could happen, because more often than not, some of these people are actually sick with it, and that's how we end up with a pandemic or an epidemic.
So we end up with a pandemic or an epidemic
because of humans.
Of course, yeah, it's because. Well, I saw that movie.
Yeah,
one of those movies.
But it's the human.
I think I
nature
saw Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
It's the human nature to run away. For example,
Yeah.
SARS in the 90s. It originated in China.
SARS. You're talking about SARS.
Yeah. It originated in the 90s.
Which was what? Talk about it.
It was a severe respiratory infection. It was
respiratory.
Yeah, so the lungs and everything, and it originated in China. And the thing with pandemics, a pandemic is usually caused when a virus that affects like birds mixes with a virus that affects humans, and then we get something that's never occurred in nature before, and our immune system isn't ready for it. And especially with the fact that there's so many human beings now, we mix all the farms with everything together. So chickens and ducks are mixed together in China so quickly. That's how H1N1, which is another virus that came about recently, that's how it came about, because of all the close contact. But it originated in China, and what happened was it spread so quickly because they all were trying to get away from it, and a lot of the immigrants that ended up in Canada, because there was a spread of almost 908 cases or 908 deaths that occurred from all of this globally. It came from the immigrants trying to get away from it, and inadvertently they were incubating it, and it spread. It's through that kind of global fear that we have. Everyone was fleeing the Mongols during the medieval time, and that's how the bubonic plague spread. Apart from some cases of biological warfare by the Mongols themselves, it went down through the trade routes and from people trying to get away from disasters or from a disease.
So what we're talking about is how originally what we started is how indigenous populations are threatened by invasion
or something novel, something new that they've never
a new
encountered.
thing. Yeah. And this is something you're particularly interested in, Mike, because you're studying medicine with an emphasis in that area, right? But you're also studying to be a surgeon, right?
Well, I want to be a jack of all trades, you know.
Good. Jack of all trades is what's needed. There's too much specialization. I was watching this wonderful documentary about Thomas Jefferson on PBS. It's on YouTube. Thomas Jefferson, The American Experience. It's 2 parts. And what a revelation it is. the greatest American is probably Thomas Jefferson. He wrote as everyone knows, the Declaration of Independence. And at the same time, he was an engineer, an architect, a philosopher, obviously a great writer, eventually a president. He founded the University of Virginia, which was the third or fourth, maybe the third university in the United States. Now, I don't think it was the third. I don't think that's true. I think the University of Georgia was before. It was before. The University of Georgia was before. There were a lot of universities before, but Harvard and William and Mary, he went to William and Mary. Thomas Jefferson did. But he was a polymath. He did many different things. He also was one of those guys, and since we're talking about history of colonialism, a bit, we've talked about it. You brought it up, Stefano. It's absolutely inseparable from the history of your country. 3 different countries were colonialists there, or 4, Portuguese, Dutch, French, and English, I think. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less, and or more. But Jefferson was also a slaveholder. He was a man who wrote, and this is one of those incredible contradictions of history that we live with, even till today, dealing with it. That he was a slaveholder and also a guy who wrote the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men were created equal, right? And he was a slaveholder. A conflicted slaveholder. He would like to have freed his slaves, but if he had done that, because he wrote a lot about it and talked a lot about it, but if he had done that, he would have been alienated from all of his peers, and he would have lost his power to influence, because they would have just scapegoated him, put him to the side, because he was attacked for this. When he said in the late 1700s, or early 1700s, earlier than the late 1700s, the 1780s, he was observing the French system in the 1780s, after the American Revolution. He was the ambassador to Paris. And he was observing French society and saying, this is not right. The way the rich people live and the poor people are preyed upon by the rich. But he saw in himself that problem. He knew. And there are many other things that we could talk about, whether or not he had children with Sally Hemings. But do you have a comment to make, Stefano?
If anything, we need to head back to Mauritius. We've kind of...
No, because I went into talking about, because if people may not know, because we're sitting here on, we're doing an audio thing, they may not know that Stefano is a black man. Yeah. If we can use the word. If I don't know the right thing to say. He's just telling me he's a Mauritian, but from my point of view, European point, he's a black guy. So, with dreadlocks, and very fine ones, I must say. But, so if you don't understand, when you're listening to this, Mauritius is a multicultural, extremely multicultural place, mixed with Africans and Indians and colonial people who came from Europe.
And Asian.
And Arabs.
And Arabs,
one of the first
which you mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah, but they were not here.
Arabs were maybe the first people, right?
Arab and Portuguese did not even put their feet, I think, in Mauritius. They just passed by, they saw it, just come and check and just go.
But the Arabs were there before.
Yeah, but
anyone.
they came when I think after slavery, for sure.
What okay, all the history and all this sort of stuff. I don't know why. We can talk about anything. I just mentioned Thomas Jefferson. It's something I was, and maybe some people, read Thomas Jefferson. Without him, there's no America.
But I
But
want
at
to.
the same time, remember that he was.
No, it's true. Without
good.
Thomas Jefferson, there is no United States. I really believe that. Yeah. But his great genius, which was able to say that. But now we go back to talk about Mauritius and why do we want to go to Mauritius? Because it's one of those places like it's almost an idyllic place, an ideal place. It's like a place in our imaginations. It's hard for us to sit here and believe it really exists, and this paradise. You know, we know the Caribbean, but this is a totally different thing. What's it like?
Okay.
What is our experience like if we go there?
I will tell you my own experience, my own life, my own place where I live. For example, I live in a small village. It's around, we say, now it could be around 2,500 people, including the children altogether now. It should be around that. And my village is called Le Monde Village. It's situated in the southwest. When you will look at any map of Mauritius, you will see there's a little point that outside on the southwest. So you will see it's from a beautiful thing for Mauritius. And we have a big mountain called Le Mont Brabant, which is from part of UNESCO because of his story. We're gonna come in it, and it would be nice to get a doctor which is here to know about that too. That's the story. When you type Mauritius, type Le Monde, please, Le Monde Village, or Le Monde Beach, or you will type Paradise Hotel, one of the most famous in Mauritius, 5-star plus.
The Paradise Hotel?
Yeah, plus his golf, one of the most famous, well known for all the stars when they come for holidays, you know.
You have a great golf course.
Yeah, next to the mountain. That's
You must be proud of that.
No, it's for the hotels, not for me, but for people who want to go in a hotel.
Is there a golf course in Haiti? I can't imagine.
We have a golf course on a small island, you know, called Ilocef, so it's quite great. We have lots of golf courses. And here's a picture.
Here's the picture we got.
Yeah, I just got it. Le Mont Brabant. Here's Le Mont. You see?
It's hilarious to me.
You see?
Golf started as a sport in Scotland that very bored people took sticks and whacked a ball about over moors and through heather by the sea because they were so just bored. It was something to do. And now we have all these extraordinary golf courses, even in Mauritius, all around the world.
It's not only golf
This is a
course.
game that came from Scotland. This was invented by Scottish people who were bored.
I will tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
Not only golf, horse racing.
Ah.
You know that.
Arab horses?
Do you know what? You know something? Today you will know something that is you had never hear about it, so you will hear it today. It's history. Mauritius got the oldest southern hemisphere horse track.
The oldest?
Yes.
When does it date from?
It's dated from the English colonial.
Yeah?
Yeah.
From like early 1800s or something? Or 1800s?
They
anyway.
brought it to Mauritius.
Sorry, 1900s.
It's called the Champ de Mars.
No, 1800s. Yeah.
Anyway, when you go to Mauritius, go to Champ de Mars on a Saturday.
But that sounds like
Where's that
French
at?
to me.
Champ de Mars. That's where we get our independence also with.
But
That's
what does
where,
that mean?
Where our flag was coming out.
But tell me
and,
what that means.
And the British one coming down, you know. So it
But
was
what did you say again?
Champ de Mars was a place where we have independence.
Champ de Mars.
Like
Champ de Mars.
Champ de Mars, like Mars, like
Yeah, but it's the
planet
Champ
Mars.
de Mars. And it's
No.
named for the... Yes, it is. It's
In
named
Creole
for the...
in Creole is Champ de Mars.
Yeah, Mars, but in French it's Champ de Mars. And it's the same
Champ
place. It's the
de
same
Mars.
park.
Yeah.
Same name
Yeah.
of the park in Paris by the Eiffel Tower.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which you can go have a nice picnic in between the Eiffel Tower and where Napoleon's buried, whatever that's called. I can't remember the name. It's called the Champ de Mars.
Mm-hmm.
I had a picnic there when I was a student in Paris.
You see.
I know what you're talking about.
How it's
Champ,
spelled?
what do you call it? Champ de Mars?
Yeah.
It's the English pronunciation.
Yeah.
The Champ de Mars. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm more French speaker. And
Are you more French or English?
and Creole speaker?
Creole.
Because at home I don't speak. In Mauritius I don't speak French. I don't speak English.
You speak Creole.
English and French is at school, and if you go to work in the tourist.
Let's speak a little Creole, because a Creole from Mauritius.
Yeah, it's.
I'll talk to you and talk back. I'll ask you a question. Yeah, so, tell me something about your town. What a terrible question.
How the hell is anyone
Yeah,
supposed to know that?
exactly. I was like, I wouldn't even know what to say to that. What a stupid question. It's like it's an insipid question. What about I don't know. What were you doing today in Creole? That's easier because you can just give a
What
list.
we are doing today.
Yeah. And
Là
and
nous
so-
dans the zi. We have to say the zi. We nous dans zi banker, because banker should have to be banker. Okay, banker. Là nous permettons pressentir la parole, nous permettons will comment dire, nous get will dans mon voix. Nous get will comment dire un mari acteur, un mari du monde mari c'est beaucoup l'esprit. On a sorti livre, vous allez aller sorti livre tout. Après nous camarade Mike, c'était moi qu'on est un docteur.
So I'm getting a lot of French out of that and sounding Louisianan to me in a way.
Will. History of Mauritius has not been yet finished because history we were only on. Now we finish on Dutch. We wanted
But
to go in French.
Who wants the history of Mauritius to finish? Nobody. It must continue.
Because then after the Dutch,
Yeah.
we came to French,
Yeah.
and from 1715, French was in Mauritius. So we were called Île-de-France. We were not called Mauritius. We were called Île-de-France at the time. And
That's a big compliment, though, for the French. Even though they're imperialists, that's a big compliment because Ile-de-France is Paris. The
and
center
we were
of
governed
Paris.
by someone very important, and which helped everything for our country, for a small island, for everything, because the French have done everything. Mostly before the British came.
So you liked the
No,
history of the
it's
French
not-
was
it's not-
good?
it's not- yes, because they even did not. Wait, let's finish about the French, and then you will see where it's gonna go.
Because the French had a terrible reputation colonially.
No, but in our
Have
islands,
a terrible-
it's them who we change. For example, the change where the first port, they bring it to a better place, and things like that, and they bring all the things.
They brought horse racing.
No, I don't
That was the British.
I think the British. I don't know. I have to check it. Actually,
But you still called the racetrack the Champ de Mars. Okay.
because of the name.
The Champ de Mars, as you
Yeah,
say.
and street also is called Fanema, so it's not something. We always.
Man, you're making me want to go to Mauritius.
You will love it, Will.
I'm sure I would.
You will love it. And mainly
But before I
come-
met you, I always wanted to go to
Yeah.
Mauritius. I
Mainly
had a
come
friend
into
who
my-
went there a long time ago.
Don't go in the hotel. Come to my
Tell
place.
me.
Come in my village. I have a room for you.
We don't go without your, because I'll tell you this, I don't like traveling and staying in hotels. I like to travel and stay in a bed and breakfast or a place with people that are local and, or even with a family. I do not like hotels
Are
when
we
I travel.
friends?
I don't like it.
Are we friends?
Huh?
Are we friends,
Yeah.
brother?
You are welcome anytime in my
Ah.
place. You know that.
So
Yeah.
my room is open for you. My house. You knock. Even I'm not here. You know.
Yeah.
And
no,
you say
exactly.
to my mom, it's weird. I'm a friend of Stefano.
And and she'll she'll go, okay.
And then I will just let you see how it's gonna be, because
I bet it'll be fantastic.
that's the point I'm telling. If even for Mike, and even for
The other guy on the sofa over there, lying down, whoever the...
Are you here?
The vegetable.
Our audience is very minimal tonight. We only have one person in the audience, and that person
Yeah.
that
so
person is on Facebook.
I'm
Yeah.
telling Will and Mike. I'm not telling Will plus this, plus that. It's too much. If it's Will, it's okay. If it's Mike, it's okay. You know, if it's gonna be Mo, it's gonna be problem.
You gotta be careful because your
our
mom
house
is
not so big.
your mom's gonna be overwhelmed.
No. Anyway, my mom will tell you, come in, come in, come in. I know my wife. I know my mom. I know my father.
Family, yeah.
I know my brother. My sister now.
With your brother, I go fishing.
Yeah.
Maybe your dad.
Yeah, because he's a
Does your
fisherman.
dad like
my dad,
fishing?
My dad, for the moment, is fisherman. So
Yeah.
after some
With them, I go fishing. I love
have
fishing.
problem, he
Actually, I love fishing. Do you like
Fishing.
fishing, Mike?
I do. It's quite calming.
it's gonna
But I like fishing in the sea. And I don't like fishing so much in a lake, but I love it in the sea because it's a little bit dangerous. And you're like, oh, I'm fishing in the sea. Let me throw this line. It could be a whale. You know, could be some big fish. But I
Or a
remember
boat.
I went to this place which you would like because it's I think it's, you would like it. Everybody would like it. But Stefano, I'm talking to now. I think you'd love it because it would remind you of home. It's called Corn Island. It's off the coast of Nicaragua, and it has a reef all around most of it.
They said reef again.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
You have the lagoon and the reef. It's
And you got the kingfish and the barracudas and all these things, And we went out fishing, and I'm telling you, I don't know that much about fishing, but I like it in the ocean. And I do know that if you're off a reef, you have a very good chance of catching something if you just put a line in the water with something on it, because there's so many fish. But we caught a lot of kingfish. You know the kingfish? You have it?
of course.
Yeah, the great tropical fish. And the barracuda, its cousin.
I got to see barracuda.
Its cousin, yeah. Barracuda is a nasty fish, by the way. Much
It's
more
bigger.
dangerous than a shark.
There's lots of kind of barracuda. So
But much more dangerous than a shark, because a barracuda will hit you.
yeah, we know about it.
Just
Not
for
only
fun.
barracuda. There's lots of other fish which can hit you.
Yeah.
But
What's the biggest fish? Like groupers are big and things like that. Groupers are huge. Maybe 150, 200 pounds, right?
a grouper?
Yeah.
It depends where it is.
They get huge, though, don't they?
huge.
They feed the whole
Actually,
family for a year. Yeah.
Apart from the shark, the biggest, we have lots of things. We have big game fishing, blue marlin, World Cup. Big
You have
game
blue
fishing.
marlin a lot?
Of course. Not
Do you-
too
have you ever caught a
much,
marlin?
not too much. No, myself no. I'm not too much fan of big game fishing. So I'm diver, so I'm more protected.
You're more of a diver
I'm,
than
I'm
a...
more protected fishing than.
No, I don't blame you
fishing.
because it's...
But I love to go
yeah.
fishing.
Yeah, it's not the time to be
I
catching
like
the
for
big game.
all this thing, but I like also to go and see the beauty under the water.
No, there's no machismo in catching big game fish anymore in oceans that are so depleted. It's rather the opposite.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that also in Mauritius is
Nothing.
the Chinese,
good to be
Taiwanese,
said.
they are doing the big things there, and normally they should not be doing that here. But the authorities don't care too much. That's the problem also. There's too much corruption. We have a new government now, so they're trying to clean up. Even our prime minister is in big trouble, so it's fine. I love
What do they mostly fish in your family?
Sorry?
What do they mostly catch in your family?
Oh, fishes, we have lots of fishes. So, grouper, for example.
Which I just mentioned by total mistake. Kismet, if you like.
And we can say barracuda also, we fish.
Yeah, but this is a tropical fish. Kingfish?
Kingfish, stonefish. You know stonefish?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure, we
Stonefish
caught
is the
some.
most dangerous fish in the sea. Stonefish is more dangerous than the shark.
Stonefish will latch on, man.
Yeah.
It'll bite your ass.
Stonefish is more dangerous than stonefish is more dangerous. Oh, mister. Do you know what stonefish?
I have no idea.
If
Tell
you're
me
going
what
in
stonefish
medicine, surgery, look for that, man. This is the most dangerous.
They will
fish.
bite your
Yeah.
ass. Yeah.
They don't bite you, sorry.
What do they do?
Stonefish don't do nothing. He's lying in the sea. If you're gonna put your hand, you're gonna put your feet on him. The
Oh, you
poison-
mean it's like a? It's like a. They don't bite you, but it's like a
Yeah,
spike or
spike.
something. You know?
He
They have
is like a
spikes?
fish, normal fish like that, you see, and then as soon as he sees that someone is coming, or he's defending himself also, because
Then he opens his mouth.
he never told you to come in the sea.
But he
No.
opens his mouth.
No, his mouth is always open because that's the way he's eating. His
Yeah.
mouth is not poison.
He's eating algae or
His
whatever.
mouth is not poison.
It's the spikes or what?
The spike, and you see he's sleeping. His mouth is open, eating,
Good Lord.
and then
Very happy.
he thinks that there is something happening. You know, he's starting to defend himself. So his defense things. You know what it is?
The
Just
spike, yeah.
Spike, and then you come, your hand, your feet. I have
Like-
a friend who spent
yeah.
3 months, 4 months in hospital.
And it's poisonous, right?
3 months, 4 months in hospital. When he came back, when we look at his feet, we said to ourselves, "Wow, this one got him deep inside."
It's the most poisonous fish in the world. Neurotoxin.
Stonefish. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, but you got to step on it, right? It doesn't bite you.
No,
It's
It
from
don't
the
bite you.
fins.
it's not bad you. It don't bite you. We eat it also. We eat stonefish,
Are you crazy? What's the matter with you?
but we remove.
It's a poisonous.
It's not the poison. It's not everything which is poisonous. With
Oh, the fish itself is okay.
of course. That's the best curry.
It's just this damn
You know-
spike.
Wow, you know, Will, I have to. If you go to Mauritius, I tell my mom to.
You have to.
We look for it
Yeah.
for you, and we will make a curry of it for you. You
Fantastic.
will not see it.
With no spike?
It's we
Yeah,
remove
I'm a
it.
little scared.
All the
about a
poison is.
spike.
Oh,
I thought it would bite you. It's a
Wait.
spike.
we eat it first, and then you're gonna eat it.
Okay, right. If you eat it first, then I'll eat it.
Of course, man.
You gotta eat it first, and I'll watch you for 5
Lots
minutes.
of fishes that is poisonous. We eat
Now,
it.
if your face turns blue, man, I'm gonna be a little, I'm gonna be a little, I'll be like, he's turning blue. It's not good, right? Stefano's face is blue after the stonefish.
Yeah.
He's blue after the
But
stonefish.
for this one, it's happened to lots of people, and
Yeah.
it's very hard when sometimes some people had gone inside this thing. So, but stonefish is very dangerous, but if you go quickly, before, for example, there was in the years before our ancestors, they could remove the poison by their mouth. If you
I think I must go to Mauritius and
Yeah,
write a story.
and then quickly they
You
could.
can't get poisoned by eating it.
Not by eating it, only by getting a spike. That
Yeah.
I kind of figured that after, but
I
after
read
what he
it.
said. But I'm
It's-
glad they don't bite you.
I'm telling before that our ancestors, our grandfather, they could remove it by the mouth, the poison. As soon as they get it, quickly
Suck
Suck it out.
and suck it out.
Like American
Yeah,
Indians.
they could do how to do it.
You guys related to American
And
Indians?
they,
Because that's what they
yeah,
did.
and then we take it to hospital afterward.
No, but
And
it's
first you will
obvious.
do it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the point. But nowadays, not too much. The youngsters did not get this tradition. That's the only tradition I had thought that. I don't know too much.
No,
people-
yeah, I met a girl the other day. I
Nowadays,
said, I'll suck the poison out.
Maybe it was for something.
Actually, she should have said that to me. But I guess that was the problem. I said the wrong
something
thing.
else for you.
I said the wrong
Don't
thing
be
again
confused.
with the lady.
Don't be
Yeah.
confused, man.
I'm a little
If
confused.
it's a girl, man.
I,
Maybe she's
it's a lady.
maybe she's a stoner.
A stoner fish?
Yeah.
Could be. Who knows? Stefano just made a pun.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Stefano just made a pun. Okay, Mike, take over and ask him a question.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
So, moving back, so the French, what did they do which was so important? Because you said
Yeah, 'cause you
they
love
did
the
that.
French.
Yeah.
Because the
I'll be back
French.
in
No,
a
no,
second.
no,
Where's
no,
the
no,
love
no,
coming
no,
from?
no. First thing. Will, I did not say I love the French. I said that the French has done lots of things. Because when we were colonized by the French, Mahe de la Bourdonnais was the president, or I don't know how to call it, but he's the one who developed Mauritius. We had lots of things happening, development was coming, and the most important things, but I will keep it for Will when Will will come because it's very important to know him.
Oh, he's listening.
Yeah, but I will prefer to wait for him to say this word.
Okay.
But we say that the French brought everything, and we have lots of endemic tree that's still on, and they develop Mauritius consciously, and then the also and then the British came because
When they come?
the British actually they came when
You said 1715, the French
I think
came.
the French and the French was also for quite long, I think, more than the Dutch, more than I think from 18 something, 1835 I think so, or 1810. The British, I think 1810, yeah, the British came to fight first time the French, but they got defeated. They got defeated by the British, by the French, by the island at the time.
Who defeated the French?
The British.
No, the first time the French defeated the British.
I mean, the French, yeah.
Because of the British came 2 times, not only 1 time. They came 2 times to win.
No, the
Mauritius.
British, they never give up.
Yeah. So after 3 months they came back, and after a battle of 3-4 days, they captured Mauritius. It was around I think 1810.
So the British took
1810,
over.
yeah.
So 100 years roughly the French are around.
Yeah,
And 100 years roughly the Dutch are around.
yeah. So why now the British wanted to capture Mauritius?
The sugar
That's
cane.
the
That's
biggest-
pretty obvious.
I was
Trade
waiting
routes
for
to
that
India.
question from
Trade
you.
routes to India.
That's it. Because Mauritius was the key. Was called the key.
It's your scurvy stopover.
I will tell you why now why Mauritius is so important from the world at this time. In the 70s, 80s, because Mauritius was known as a key star of the Indian Ocean for the oil, for everything. So if you want to go to Asia, what is the shortest way to go to Asia, and where you have to stop? Best place is Mauritius. They stop to Mauritius and then they go to Asia. Stop to Mauritius, they go to Australia. Stop to Mauritius, they go to India. Stop to Mauritius, I don't know, they go to China, to Japan, all this thing. It was the best place for them to stop. And they can come to Mauritius, have the food, the drink, the petrol, everything that they needed, and then they go back. So it's for that the British wanted to capture Mauritius. And you know that Réunion Island, which is 40 minutes plane from Mauritius. It's a French colonial till now, and they won it back after 3 months. So the British then just came, and the good thing that British had done for our multicultural island is that they had said even to the French workers, which was in Mauritius at that time, who was working the sugarcane, working everything, developing Mauritius, and they said to them, if you want to stay, you stay. I don't want you to go, you can continue what you are doing, do not stay. But they are just governed by the British, by the Queen. So that's the things. And then at that time we were still on slavery, you know that. So and then the British give Mauritius.
You had slavery in Mauritius.
Yes,
I did not know
yes,
that.
Yes. Then you see.
Instituted by the French.
I always tell you that
the
there's
Dutch.
something which come from there, and then it will come from.
Who started slavery in Mauritius? The Dutch or the French?
I think the French.
Because you said the Dutch passed by. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Dutch did not stay too long.
Yeah.
They did not stay like the French. The French really colonized Mauritius. The Dutch just came and brought something. They did not stay too long.
And slavery continued under the British or no?
Yes,
The British abolished slavery in the 70s or 80s. If I remember, Wilberforce, he abolished slavery. They abolished slavery, led by Wilberforce. I believe it was 1780s and 90s, right around the time of the American Revolution.
I think when there was.
Which is,
I think when.
yeah.
Like in Mauritius, if we were in British at the time, when there was the liberation of the slavery, we have the liberation of the slavery too, man, because we were under British colonial, and so I think it was from the 1810 or something like that. Or
Well, maybe it was a bit later when the
A bit
British
later.
abolished slavery. If you're saying that, it must be later, because you would know.
yeah, maybe I don't know, but I know
Yeah.
it's on the 1st of February, and then talking about slavery.
Is this a big holiday? The
it's a
abolition of
it's a
slavery holiday?
Public holiday, yeah, public holiday.
Wow.
It's a public holiday, and it's always some.
It's like a
Lots of
huge.
it. To come
It's
to
like a major
okay.
thing, of
It's
course.
it's a big stuff.
like
man.
Independence Day.
Big stuff.
Independence Day.
Independence
yeah.
Day is on the 12th of March, so it's,
Did you have slavery in Mauritius before Europeans came there?
no.
Like in
I was
Africa.
the one living there.
In Africa, they had slavery before Europeans, but and
In
they did in
Africa-
Egypt, for example,
But the slavery come from Africa.
and Arabs had it. What?
The slavery come from Africa. There was
Yeah.
no people living in Mauritius. The French brought it.
There must have been people in Mauritius. It couldn't have been uninhabited. There must have been some people.
The Dutch left. The Dutch left because the Dutch.
Who
was
were the
only
first
Dutch.
people in Mauritius? That's a
Dutch,
good question.
Dutch.
No, who were the first?
Arabic and Portuguese passed
Who
by.
who were the original people, and where were they from?
We don't know. The first was Arabic and Portuguese who passed by Mauritius, and the first people.
But there were people in Mauritius already, of course.
No, Will, because Mauritius is a volcanic island.
There was no one there.
No, Mauritius is a volcanic
Just
island.
dodos.
Oh, Will, Mauritius is a volcanic island, Will.
The abolition of slavery in
Well, I
Mauritius.
know. Because it's atoll. It's an atoll, basically.
1835.
1835.
But
It took a while.
It took a while.
it took a lot longer because in England
Yeah,
it
It
was
was
abolished.
1787.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah,
Yeah.
80s,
And
1780s,
it took them a
I
while
think, 70s,
because
80s.
it
Took a
takes a
while.
while for it to get popular, especially without the internet.
Well, they weren't allowed to have slaves. Yeah, they
You
weren't
can't
allowed
like
to have.
that.
Because you have to know that the ship has to come
They
from
weren't allowed to
England
have
come
slaves
to Mauritius,
in
like I was telling
England
you.
at that point. But the more interesting point we've just come to is I was thinking there was like the South Pacific, where you had indigenous people in there, in those islands before. But you're saying there was no one there till they brought people there.
Will,
Is that correct?
I just told you from the beginning that
It's an
Mauritius
atoll,
is so
yeah.
small that sometimes you can't even see
You
it.
can't even see it on the.
So who gonna
You're
go
sailing.
to
It's
live
like
there?
who's there?
It's,
Yeah.
it's
You're in the middle of nowhere.
no, nowhere. It's only an island, man.
So it's only a stationing point. It was
Yeah.
invented as a
Yeah.
stationing point
Yeah.
on the East Indies trade
And we have
lines.
beautiful beaches.
And then they brought some
Yeah.
people from Africa, and eventually Indians came on their own, and this populated
Okay, let's come to India.
your place. That's really interesting. Okay.
Let's come to Indian, Chinese, Muslim, how they came. I don't know.
Gosh, I'm
Muslim-
sorry if I sound really
but,
ignorant.
But first
yeah.
was the slavery was here with the French, of course.
Yeah.
And then when we have abolition of slavery, actually, then the Indian came because sugarcane was, like I told you, was our first economy,
Yeah.
and without sugarcane we would not be how we are now. So when abolition of slavery, all the slavery went to live on the coastal area, which was empty. You know, no one was living there. So they start to grow their vegetables, do their stuff, go fishing. That fishing came through. You see how they can fishing and everything. So they need people to work in the sugarcane factory, or sugarcane fields also, all the thing. So then they bring Indian labor. So then the Indian came. So in Indian, when we say Indian, there's lots of Indian. It's not Indian. There's Indian from who is from Hindu, Tamil,
Yeah,
Madras, Telugu.
Indians
you know,
from India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Muslim, sincerely, I don't know lots of history about the Muslim. Maybe they came because of spices. They were selling spices because of
Of
sugar.
course, yeah.
So they were here, and we had white Mauritian people.
But
of
why would
course.
they be in the Indian Ocean? They could go much quicker.
No,
overland
everywhere.
even?
Everywhere they stepped there, and Chinese came, of course, for business.
I think they got blown off course.
Chinese came for business.
There was a big tempest, and they ended up looking for some place,
Yeah.
and they got there by accident, the Arabs, and they said, "My God, thank God there's a place we can stop," and it was discovered that way, probably by storm or something, because there was no reason for Arabs to ever go in the sea to go to India because they had overland routes and they knew them through the Persian Empire, etc. They knew that, so they must have been exploring Africa or something and got blown off course, because how else would you end up in the Arab maritime times there? It wouldn't make sense. You just wouldn't be in the middle of the Indian Ocean, would you? No. I can't see why. There's nothing there but Mauritius, right?
Man, we love it.
How far is it to the next land?
I told you, 2,000 kilometers.
To Africa and to the next land?
Next
the
island.
east?
Next island is
New Guinea or something? Who knows?
Australia.
Yes, New Guinea, Australia.
Of course, Australia. No,
Which is how far?
nah,
a lot
Australia's
further.
A lot further.
It's like 5,000 kilometers. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know,
So you're sitting
But
in the
the
middle
point-
of this thing.
now the point is that Mauritius is well known for tourism.
So you're not an indigenous
tourism.
person.
No,
You're not indigenous. There are no indigenous people except the dodo bird. no, well,
extinguished.
the bird,
There is extinguished.
a very extinguished personage, the
Yeah.
dodo bird.
And
Very
in Mauritius, we
extinguished.
have two places
Oh.
in UNESCO. You like history?
To be
But-
preserved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is from part of UNESCO, World Heritage, like we said. And
So what can we see if we go? It's obvious. It's a UNESCO place because look up Mauritius online, and this is an amazing place. It's like a Caribbean island in the middle on its own. It's like Grenada in the middle of the Indian Ocean. But what, for people who are listening, if they want to go to Mauritius, apart from golf and fishing, is it like the Bahamas, or what's it like? Or is it totally different? We know the history and culture
The
now.
first thing, you should not compare Mauritius from Bahamas or anything. Mauritius is unique. Mauritius is unique. And never compare Mauritius to Bahamas, to Trinidad, Tobago, or everywhere else, because we are unique. We have
It's nothing like the
Dutch,
Caribbean.
French, English cultures.
Well, first of all, it's in the middle of a big ocean. It's not in a small sea. This is a big difference, but
We have the most modern,
totally different part of the
modern
world.
airport in the Indian Ocean. We have embassy from a British embassy. We have French embassy. We have Czech Republic embassy. We have,
You have a Czech embassy?
I think so. I don't
Good
know.
Lord.
We
The
have,
Czechs are.
if we don't
They
have,
must like it for a holiday. The Czechs are like,
have
yeah, I
Russian,
want to
we
be the
have-
ambassador
we
of
have
Mauritius.
Russian,
That's
we
my
have
favorite
everyone.
place.
You
Yeah.
have everyone. If not an embassy, we have a place for them to go. We are a very touristic place. We have hotels
Oh, they have a
that
consulate.
that are in top 150 in the world. So who are very nominated sometimes for very good stuff they are doing. Our economy is quite okay. We just changed government, okay, because we have
How many people
We have
live there? How many people?
we are around maybe 1.7, 1.6 million
Yeah.
people, but
And you just change your government from what to what?
Yeah, from the Labour Party, which had destroyed our Mauritius, which had destroyed our paradise, and now we just have an ex president and ex prime minister, because president is, we are like British, okay,
Yeah.
so our law is the same. We don't vote for president, we vote for prime minister. The government, he's the one. The prime minister is the one who rules our country. The president is just here to sign the paper, like we said.
But you have a president, so you have a
Yeah,
combination of the
we're
British
from part of Commonwealth
and
from
French.
19.
You have
we have
British
in-
and French.
We have independence in 1968. Actually, I forgot to say,
From the British.
from the British, 1968, and we had been to.
Are you happy
Commonwealth.
about that? Was it a good idea?
I don't know. I don't know.
Sometimes the people who were under the colonies,
I don't know.
they liked the British because there were some advantages.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that to me
Same
many
like
times.
next to Mauritius.
I know it's
is Reunion
unpopular to say it, but I've heard people from the country say it
Island.
to
Of
me.
course, Reunion Island is they're
Yeah.
not stupid. They're still in French colonial. So
Well, there are advantages. Then you go on your own. You're a small
Maybe
country,
there's
and
advantages, but being
Yeah.
free also is good. From
well,
anyone.
being
You
free.
decide who want to be your
But to Americans or Australians, being free, or Russians, when you have a whole huge continent to exploit with your freedom, whilst eliminating the people who lived there first, right? It's a different thing than which we talk about as our freedom. It's different in many ways from if you're in an island and you're dependent with an island economy on trade. Sometimes it might be better to be part of a bigger thing, and to be independent could be a problem unless you have good treaties. Are you still part of the Commonwealth?
We are Commonwealth from
there you are.
from
That's it.
1992, man.
Well,
We are
then that's it.
Commonwealth.
It's the same thing.
So
Yeah.
we are in the Commonwealth Games. We are playing.
If you have the Commonwealth, it's the same because you have the trade.
Wait, one second.
Yeah.
Okay, today's the 28th. I just want to just congratulate, give a big hello to our 4 boxer kickboxing world champion. I don't know where it was.
You have
3
4
gold medal and 1 bronze. Well done job. Great
in
job,
the Olympics.
guys. In the world champion of kickboxing, not
Oh,
Olympic,
recently?
no.
Yeah.
Just maybe one last week. Can you check
You
it for
have
us?
how many?
World champion kickboxing, 3 gold medal, and there was one final 100% Mauritius.
You kidding me?
I'm not kidding you, Will. You think I'm kidding you?
Well, you might tease me, but probably not on that.
Oh,
So the thing is, like, you don't know what weight class, but this is still pretty amazing.
it's amazing because in kickboxing we are doing very fucking good, man. I can tell you that, man. Sorry for this.
Kickboxing is
Kickboxing, yeah.
Kickboxing.
There's lots of kickboxing.
So it's like a women's sport.
Women's sport. Maybe you have to go.
I'm
If it's a
joking. I'm
woman's
joking. Because women, they love to kick. But guys, they like to use their fists. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. Of course, Bruce Lee was a great kickboxer and a
No, I just wanted to
karate
to give this message because we should give this message to them because I'm very happy about that because
no. It's who would know that?
3 gold medal
I
for
had
small
no idea.
island.
But I don't. On Yahoo Sport, unfortunately, on Yahoo Sport, kickboxing championships don't come up because I don't know how you'd have to follow. It's a shame it doesn't because it's interesting, but it doesn't come up.
Actually, the last championship, we had a gold medal again in the world on something else. In Rio, it was in Rio, and our Mauritian kickboxer beat a Polish guy on the final.
Well, Poland has a history of great kickboxers.
Yeah. And the Mauritian guy beat the
Yeah.
Polish guy on the final.
Mm.
So again, we have 2 gold medal in categories and 1 in junior.
Of course,
So,
Brazil is famous for jiu-jitsu. That's they're the masters of jiu-jitsu. Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Not that I know that much about it, but
No, I just want to send this message to them.
I'm
So,
sorry, I'm failing horribly, but I can't find it.
Don't care
what
about
are
it.
you looking for the results?
Yeah,
This is the problem.
I'm
Because
looking
I look
for
at
the
Yahoo
person.
Sports every day, and I will read all the things on the
Apparently
sports.
no one gives a shit if it's not football or...
Yeah.
Well, that's my point, and
It was
it's a
hard for me
shame.
to see it too. So
Yeah, it's a shame. So it should be a. I didn't even know there was a kickboxing world championship. I know the Olympics they have something, don't they?
yeah, Olympic also.
Yeah.
I don't know. Olympics there's no kickboxing.
They don't have kickboxing. in
It's
Olympics.
different kind of kickboxing. There's all kind of. There's too much
Yeah.
kind of kickboxing. I think too. So
Actually, they don't have it in the Olympics. Yeah.
yeah, but wait, coming to something that was important for me that you were saying before is that when you go to Mauritius, apart from fishing and things like that, where to go? Mauritius is beautiful. So we divide Mauritius from the north. Don't forget, I live from the south, west. So there's north, south, east, and west. So airport actually is south east. It's called Mayberg. And our capital is called Port Louis, which is on north west. Okay, so from airport to Port Louis nowadays, okay, we say it's 1 hour and a half, 1 hour 15 minutes on the highway, so no problem. And from the north, from same, you add just maybe 1 45 minutes more, you are on the top of the north. And to go to the east, it's nearer, so we got the main one road to go there. To go to my place in the southwest of Mauritius called Le Monde, don't forget. And it's 1 hour and 15 minutes. So Mauritius is not so big. West Coast is known for our hotels, our beaches, almost all the best hotels are here, all the cheapest hotels also, all the club, tourist place. Because we have to say also there's tourist place and non-tourist place. People have to decide where they want to go. There is touristic place and there is non-touristic place. So that's depend on what you want to do.
I know which I prefer.
And but in Mauritius we have everything that you want to do. There's cascade, there's things to see. Natural Seven Color Earth in Chamarel, Runway of Chamarel, Rochester Fall, where you can see the fall.
Do you have like a market or like a
We
really
have Mauritian market,
like a souk or something, like the Arab market or something?
There's everything that you imagine. We have our own market.
I can't wait to
Every
go.
day there's the famous thing like I'm here in Warsaw, and I imagine myself I have to go every day to the supermarket to buy things. For example, vegetables, fresh vegetables. Every day, the guy on the motorbike will come. Can I talk about a story about him? Because he was so famous, and everyone who I don't know, someone from Mauritius and who knows him, they will be very happy. Those who live on our area, because he came from a place called Suyak and come to all the southwest still, maybe Lagolet, Casnoyal, Chamarel, Le Monde, Cotorafin, Bejucap, Belom. All these people will know him, and his name we were calling him Sunrise, because at that time there was a football team called Sunrise. At the time where there was Russia, we can say. I don't like this word because we stopped football. Because now we have Raiders, but don't care about it. But we call it Sunrise because his team was Sunrise, and he was always coming on his motorbike every Saturday and Sunday morning with vegetable everywhere, man. Everything that you want, everything. Potatoes, carrots, beans, every vegetable that you want to. And it's like that. There's every day someone who is coming with his lorries. Beep beep. Et na lalo, et na betterave, et na tout ce qu'ils ont besoin. Qu'ils ont envie. Mon enchilalo, 2020 roupies. 10 roupies cotomidi. Like that, beep beep. Every day, fresh things. We don't eat in the fridge. We get things.
You don't eat from the refrigerator. You get the fresh stuff. No?
From different, we are different. We work at the end of the month when we get the money from our work, because everything is mostly at the end of the month, except if you work in some other company which pay you every 15 days, or if you work for yourself, you get everyday money, like fishermen, for example. They go to fish in the morning to eat in the night. So the hardest job in the world, man. And then we have to say, I have to sing a song for this. Si poisson la manger, noix manger. Si poisson la manger, noix manger. Mais si poisson pas manger, pas manger. Faut des poissons la manger pour manger. It's a very touching word because it
You
says
said fish.
if the fish will,
Poisson, you said, yeah?
yeah, if the fish will
Yeah.
eat, I will eat. If
Yeah.
the fish don't eat,
Yeah.
I will not eat.
Yeah.
Because fishermen, that's their job. And if the sea is rough, they can't go fishing. You know, it's something generally about Mauritius. I don't like to talk about touristic place. That's not my point. You should not only know Mauritius about beaches, about tourist thing going. I don't want to talk about the most beautiful things in Mauritius. I want to talk about real Mauritian life. Real Mauritian life. Real people who live there, how they feel. Same like I'm feeling.
Is it
also.
paradise?
It is a paradise.
Thank you very much. Stefano, thanks for coming by. Stefano was here last week. You're going to come back. Please come back anytime you like. This has been, for me, fascinating. I've learned a huge amount from you being nice enough to come by.
Thank you
And,
very
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome. If
Even
there's more
Mike, the
questions-
doctor, is like going, "Oh my God,
I didn't know.
I have to go do expedition
I have to go to the
medicine
Mauritius.
out in Mauritius." You may be there.
I will.
Well, thanks very much. Anyway,
Welcome.
that's
Thank
it. That's it for tonight. For
The
Good.
bunker.
the bunker, yeah, these kind of things could go on forever. I want to thank Stefano for being here to talk about Mauritius. I want to thank you, Mike, for not interrupting me too many times and being a pretty good guy
I'm sorry if I did when I did.
and producing this show with your excellent equipment and helping us to be online. Listen, man, you're nothing without your friends. This is Will. Good night.